Good morning, Delivery fam, and welcome back to another episode of Breakfast with UDM on the Life of a Gig Worker podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about, is your attitude affecting your money? All right. And I said we because I'm going to have a guest. And if you do not know who this guest is, she has her own channel. And I think it's just best to just introduce her while she's on the screen. Do y'all know who this is?
No.
What's up, Toya Drives? How you doing?
How you doing, sir? I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I'm pretty good as well. Now let's dive into this a little bit because I think this may ruffle some feathers a little bit. Just depends on which way it goes. I don't know. Okay. Because be advised, y'all, Toya and I did not have a conversation about this topic or our points on this topic prior to this. Okay. So when I say, is your attitude affecting your money? What's the first thing that comes to mind for you, Toya?
Whew, man. I would say, well, I guess let me start with this. So does your attitude affect your money? Absolutely. There's definitely a correlation there because just like with a W-2, you know, you don't feel good. You're not performing well. You're not trying to go above and beyond. You're not taking initiative, nothing like that. So I'm sorry. I'm looking at my cat in the background. He just he's in his bean bag. I'm sorry.
He look like he's chilling.
He's definitely chilling. But no. As far as like, you really need to have a positive attitude in the gig scene because, you know, we have to go through a lot of different obstacles. You know, I've had a conversation with some of my viewers. We talked about some of the bots, you know, the bot situation. A lot of people being upset that, you know, they're not able to get as many orders as they were in the past. You know, they got to compete against these folks. And having a negative, you know, outlook on that particular issue, like I get it's frustrating, but if you're just sitting there dwelling on it, not looking for a solution, you ain't gonna be making no money. That is not going to pay your bills. You have to find a solution. You have to take initiative, try to find some way around it. You know, it's hard being independent. It is. It is. And yeah, you just got to have the right mindset to keep getting out there and getting your money. Simple as that.
Now, when I look at sometimes, you know, it's not just drivers, right? That's not all I'm looking at when I say, you know, just your attitude affecting money, right? Sometimes it's even the restaurant staff, right? They rather treat a driver, in some cases, some restaurant staff would rather treat a driver like crap because of a tip situation, or the driver's getting the tip, they're preparing the order, and they feel some type of way about it. Not even considering that driver can be a potential customer for that same exact restaurant, and that person could be that driver's or that customer's server, right? Or waiter, waitress, or whatever, right? Now, if I were to get a bad experience going into a restaurant as a driver, and I ended up wanting to have lunch, dinner at this location, but I remember what they did to me the last time. Yeah, the food is good. The food's good, but you are trash. You know,
that service plays a huge part in it.
Would I leave you a nice tip because of the service you provided me today? Or am I holding on to what you did to me the last time when I was just trying to get my money? Right? In that case, for that waiter, waitress, their attitude cause me to hold a grudge, which would then affect their money in the future. You know, it's the same thing as the drivers, right? There are drivers that are sitting around, pity me, I can't, when there's so many opportunities around. Not until someone presents a new opportunity, that's the only time they're willing to give anything a shot. But meanwhile, their money is affected drastically. They probably got cut by hundreds of dollars. But they're just, pity me. Oh my, somebody please do another video telling me about another app because I hate this app and I turn it on every day, even though I hate it. When there's so many other opportunities, Toya. There's so many other opportunities. I was watching one of your videos today, and I think it's, what is it? What is it?
Jitsu.
Whenever I hear the name, or like I was getting ready to say jujitsu, right? Because I'm like, that's the first thing that comes to mind, and I'm like, no, that ain't it, right? So I'm like, no, that ain't it. So what is it? Jit something, right? So
Jitsu.
at first, I can't lie, when I was watching it, I was like, man, this must be some kind of karate. We delivering karate belts? Or karate gis or something, you know? I'm like, jitsu. And then going into it, and you was like, you know, they deliver like HelloFresh and stuff like that. I was like, what? Right? Opportunity. You see what I mean? You, as a content creator, went and found this. Me, as a viewer, I never heard of it. But I'm not a viewer that's looking for new information. I just love your content. I'm supporting you as a content creator, right? And I know there's other drivers that may be looking or clicking on that video because some app ain't working for them right now. The app that they love, or the app that they are used to making a good amount of money.
Right.
So I just feel like, you know, the attitude of, or the mindset of that individual that's not willing to get up and change the way that they do things or look in another direction is going to affect their money in some form of fashion in the future. It's like, it's the same thing as being loyal to just one app as a driver. Being loyal to just one app as a driver will, you know, there's going to be good days, bad days. It's not always going to be peaches and cream. But their attitude, even in that positive, on that positive side of things, their attitude eventually frustrates them because they're like, man, I keep taking these, and I'm not making much money. I'm not making much more than I used to make a few weeks ago. The attitude or the mindset just really affects their money in the future. So I feel like, you know, having a conversation with someone, not just a gig tuber or someone that's going out there to look for other ways to make money with apps, right? Seeing your videos, I just felt like this would be a really good conversation to have with you because you are actually doing the work to find, compared to some other drivers that are just sitting here and waiting for someone to go and find. You see what I mean?
Right.
And those people, I feel like a person like yourself will thrive in the gig space. Because I remember watching your DeliverThat videos. At first, it was kind of like, man, I can't get nothing. And then it started turning into, well, I'm doing more DeliverThat. You know? And then you were starting to talk about more catering. I was like, oh, okay, Toya, right? So I just feel like a person like yourself, the mindset that you have, the mindset that I have, it'll be very difficult for us not to thrive in the gig space because we're always looking for more ways to make money.
Right. Earn more by working less.
Right. So, in terms of someone having a bad attitude, when was the last time you seen someone with a bad attitude, a negative attitude? I'm putting you on the spot. Go ahead. You start thinking about it. Right. When was the last time you seen someone that had a bad attitude? You can see it. You can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel the energy. Like, dang, is it really that bad out here for you? Why are you not doing something else? When was the last time, and what was that scenario? Can you like paint that picture for me?
Well, ironically, this is an ongoing conversation I have with a viewer right now. So I don't know if you've seen my video when I was talking about oversaturation, and it was specifically, how some folks blame content creators like us, and say that we're ruining the gig economy because we're spreading this knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I'm going back and forth. I said my points in my video because, I just felt like it was something that needed to be addressed because I kept it 100. I'm just saying, like, look, that's not an excuse. If you really want to get it, you'll go out there and get it by any means necessary. Oversaturation is irrelevant. Okay.
Attitude.
So like how you said, people go out and look for other opportunities. They look at my content, look at your content. Here's another app. Try that.
Yeah.
So, like I said, with this particular individual, they were just more or less saying like, hey, gigtubers, they're not supposed to be marketing job opportunities. It's not meant for that. Excuses, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, my response is pretty much the same. It's just like, why is that like, I guess, how do I want to put it? Because I don't want to sound too crazy. Because I came up with a saying, and I don't know if this is something else that somebody else came up with before me, but this just, for some reason, this just spoke to me. I came up with a saying. It was, don't allow others to dictate your successes or failures. And more or less, it's just like your success is in your own hands.
Yep.
Okay. What this person is doing over here, they're going to go ahead and keep doing it regardless of your opinion. Okay. You may not necessarily agree with it. You may agree with it, but they're going to keep doing what they're doing. And for you to have some type of like animosity towards that person because, you may not necessarily think it's, something that is positive for the gig community. You just want to go ahead and, I guess how do I want to say it? I don't want to say like downplay or say like, I don't know. Like I said, this person they feel like that us as content creators, we're destroying the gig community by spreading this knowledge. But my response is more or less, like I said, you got to put in the work. Look at the positives. There's a lot of people that watch our videos. They're like, wow, I never knew about this app. Yeah. Or, like, wow, Jitsu. You gave me some tips. Yeah, Jitsu, right? You gave me different tips and tricks, or you gave me a different perspective on how to become more profitable, whatever it may be. All of these positive aspects of it. Yeah. But you have people like this individual, and I'm pretty sure there's plenty of others. I don't know if you've seen people like this in your comment section, but they just seem to only focus on the negative.
Yeah.
And that is not, like I said, it's not going to pay your bills. You have to make adjustments. I think I've said, what did I say? I was saying that nothing's going to stay the same. Even if you get into like a rhythm, you're comfortable with what you're doing as a gig worker. Say, for instance, you mastered every part of your market. This area makes this money for you. You go over here this time of day, whatever it may be. Tomorrow, it might be a different story.
Whole different story. There's that roller coaster.
And you have to make those adjustments. Yeah. It's so unpredictable. That's the thing about this. and I do this part-time, if you want to call it part-time, because, I have a W-2. So I go out there as I can. I don't have time to be playing games and hoping and wishing I can make money over here and do that. Like, right? I gotta make it work. So, exactly. I'm making the best out of the time that I do have, and I'm trying to make the most money in the least amount of time.
Yeah.
So, and for whatever reason, some people they just ain't got it.
Yeah. Now,
Simple as
you know,
that.
I just feel like some people just love to play the blame game, right?
Oh yeah.
There's two things I'm gonna say here in relating to, you know, your situation with the commenter, right? When people would say these types of things to me as a content creator, a gig tuber, I used to say like, man, I came in and try to help people just like myself, right? At the time, right? The information wasn't readily available. Like I'm making it for whoever's watching this video, right? At the time when I'm making the video, I'm making this content regular and updating everyone with new content on any updates. So if anyone needs this information, you could get it from me, right? Because we all got to get money, right? We all got to figure out a way how to survive out here because our W-2s are just, I know my W-2 wasn't paying too well, right? And I had my kids and the insurance alone was taking half my paycheck. So I'm like, oh no, I got to survive out here with my kid, right? So I'm looking at it like, you blame us for helping other people like us that needed some additional form of income. Okay. But the same companies you're blaming us about, they're promoting it to other platforms and other ways to get more drivers to sign up. And they're offering drivers that are not gig tubers. They're offering drivers these referral bonuses that's like, whoa. And the driver sees it as, oh, that's some extra dough. Let me go ahead and get that person, my friend over on the left side, signed up so I could get that 1,500. Because that's some of the numbers that I've heard before. I've heard numbers over 2,000 in some markets too that they're offering just to get someone to sign up and do a certain amount of deliveries so they could get that bonus. So if they're doing these types of advertisements, we don't have much to do with the amount of gig workers that's on the road right now. We're not 100% at fault. We may, and I'm going out on a limb when I say this percentage here. Some people might disagree, but I feel like we are probably like 20% to blame. Okay. That's a very small fraction. The other 80% is their marketing. Whatever company, it's their marketing. The same way I stumbled upon it without even watching the YouTube video. That's how they got me. I'm pretty sure that's how they got everybody else. Well, not everybody else.
Most people, though. Most people, yeah.
And I know because of the Rona, that's what, when people lost their jobs, they were looking for new ways to make money, and then they all flocked to the easy way. Make up to $20 an hour doing this. Set your own schedule, you know? And that was the selling point. So I'm like, man, you know, I know they would try to blame us, but it's really themselves that they should blame, because all we're doing is putting out the information. And the same way that we went and found this information and put it out there for them, the same video that they are watching and they're leaving this negative comment on, they can do the same type of thing to do their own research to find what other ways that they can make money in their market. And I'll tell you this, Toya, sometimes it really makes my stomach hurt that I'm like, I had to tell you this? You couldn't figure this out on your own? Like, it really hurts my stomach. Like, dang. Like, you had to wait on me to tell you how to make money with apps. Not the skill that it comes with, right? But it's like, it's like, come on, leave me alone. Let me help other people that you don't need the help. Feel free to not watch my videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you feel
Or you
some type
can
of way,
the algorithm.
say that again.
I say, or you can go ahead and help the algorithm push the video along to other people. Either or.
Those you feel would need the help, right?
Right.
But in this person's case, I guess they just feel like, man, I'm not going to promote this because, I already have it. I'm already struggling because of your video. Your video is the reason why I'm struggling. But going back to that attitude is causing them to only look at it like from just one lens. I remember, I'll never forget, someone was trying to work these on-demand apps in their market, and they were like, man, we got a lot of rural areas around here. I don't know, there'd be a lot of miles on that. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe that app is not the app for you to work in your market. I know some markets go crazy with package delivery. I know some markets that I know my market is serious with catering, but I know so far one other market that is way busier than mine with all of these catering apps. And I'm like, boy, I got to go up there. That's where the money at. I'm talking about somebody just signed up and they almost had 100 deliveries with the cake. When I say just signed up, I'm talking about maybe like a month and a half. That's how many.
My God.
It's
what
like
market
that.
is this? I need to go over there.
Yeah, we gonna have to talk after the podcast episode. No, but it's thriving. It's a lot going on over there, right? But I was saying, like, and tell me what you think about this. I was saying to the person that, they was having a bit of an issue of like, hey, the on-demand apps just don't work over here. There's a lot of rural areas. I know it's easy. You just go, you receive an offer, you accept, and then you go to the restaurant, then you wait on it, you pick it up, then you go drop it off. I know that's very easy, right? But I said, maybe that's not the app to work in your area. Your area might be, let's say, if there's a lot of farmers in your area, why not create a business? Go set up an LLC. Create a business to go and get their feed, to feed their animals, or to whatever that they need, fertilizer for their crops, or whatever, Why not set up an LLC and deliver stuff that they need? Because there's a lot of farming around you. Yeah, they could get up and go do it on their own, but what if you set up a delivery service for that? I'm pretty sure they would pay you good money to get that done for them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying. But that person didn't want to hear that. They didn't, I don't want to do that. The attitude, going back to that, Toya, So it's like, what's your thoughts on just hearing somebody that wants to work a specific type of app, like everyone, let's just call it the popular apps, right? They want to work these popular apps, but these popular apps just ain't popping in their market.
They ain't hidden.
They not. And they don't want to work a W-2. Would you give them the same advice? Like, look around. There's opportunity. You just got to see it.
Yeah. You got to step outside your comfort zone. Because, I get if that's what you're comfortable with, cool. But if it ain't bringing in money, why are we wasting our time? Like, try catering, package delivery. It might be some local apps in that area that we don't know about because we're not in that market. There's a lot that you can research. There's a lot of opportunity. You just have to look for it. So, nah. Anybody that says that, no, you gotta be flexible in some way when it comes to gig work, especially if you don't want to go back to a W-2. You either go back to a W-2 or figure it out here, because this ain't gonna cut it. It's not.
A lot of people don't want to go back to a W-2 because the W-2 world is just, I feel like the W-2 world coddled a lot of these drivers. I'm just being honest. It's like,
I feel that.
Spoon fed. Like, oh, I gotta do my taxes? Oh, you ain't know? You're independent. You ain't know? You gotta do your own taxes? You didn't know what that is? You didn't know what that life is like? Oh, you're used to your employer taking it out for you, right? Oh, yep. Wow. Okay, here's one that I'll throw at you. People will calculate. I've seen drivers calculate. Oh, they calculate gas on every offer. My mindset is, now, don't get me wrong, I get it, with all the calculations and stuff, I get it. But my mindset is, if I put $20 of gas in my tank every day, no matter how high the gas go or how low the gas go, if it's $20 that I'm putting in my tank every day, 7 days a week, that's $140 a week. You see what I mean? It doesn't matter how high the gas go or how low the gas go. I'm still spending $140. Now, depending on how I drive that 140, I may have to put 160, but if I know gas is going high, my attitude affecting my money, right? My attitude is, my gas is a little bit too high, but I ain't trying to put more than $20 because all I need to make my money for the day is $20 gas. So let me just put this $20 in here and let me just go ahead, work my shift, do what I got to do. And then when I'm done with my shift tomorrow, I put another 20 and I'm still spending 140. So I'm not really affected by gas being high or gas being low. It just showed me a higher bar or a lower bar, but I'm still getting my same money. You know what I mean?
Right. I got you.
Still getting my same money. So that's my attitude. How do you approach the whole gas situation with what you put in your vehicle? Did you ever think about it how I just said it, or are you just like?
To be honest, that's a first. I never thought of it like that because I just be. Because I'll be like, I just hold the handle until it click, and I'm just like, damn, I put in $50 today. God damn.
Oh yeah.
I might have to try that. I ain't gonna. It's like, look, if I get on E, I'm done for the day. I'm unavailable. Nope, don't call me.
I know.
Sure.
Now, on average, like, what's your number that you put like per week
I'm trying to think because my W-2 I work remote, so I don't even have to commute to work. But obviously I commute for gigs and other things. So I would say on average, I'd say about 80 to 120, depending on what's going on. So not too bad, honestly.
I think that's average for gig work. I think that's average.
Part-time. But like I said, I work from home, so I don't even have to really travel that much unless it's for personal or whatever, or if I'm doing a gig. So yeah, it's not that bad.
That's not bad at all. Like I truly believe that's average. If you're watching this or you're listening to this, please put in the comments below, what's your average weekly amount that you spend in gas? And I just said it. For mine, it's like $20 a day. Even if I did, like, say if I just went below a little under half tank, and that $20 will put me at full, because maybe I just had a really great catering order for the day, right? And I didn't really have to work as much with on demand or anything like that. That $20 might put me at full, but now I have 2 days for free, because I don't really have to put gas tomorrow, but I have more of a window to drive more.
Right.
And I just, when I'm done with that day, the next day, I just put another 20. And if I don't put 20, because it's filled up and it only took like 10, then I'd be like, I just saved $10. And by the end of the week, instead of me spending 140, I really spent like 125. You see what I mean? So it's like it all depends on how good of a day it is or how bad of a day it is. But no matter how good or bad it is of a day it is, I'm still putting the same amount. So I'm not gaining, I'm not losing. You see what I mean? I'm still putting the same amount. Now, if I have a really good week, that amount, let's say I get really good catering orders back to back, 3-4 days in a row, that means I don't have to work as much with the other apps. So I'm not burning as much gas. If I'm not burning as much gas, then instead of this 140, I probably just put 70, because everything was Easy peasy. So,
Mm-hmm.
so anyway, the whole thought about just the attitude, not just from the driver's perspective, just even in your regular life, you know, the way that you approach, if you really want to get this job, right? This job is probably paying 6 figures. If you're going to have the right attitude and prepare for this interview, the things that you know that they're going to ask you or they may ask you, you got to be prepared for whatever they throw at you. If you take it seriously and have the right mindset, the right attitude, you would go probably practice in front of a mirror. Probably have a family member ask you some questions and for you to practice your answer and be fluent with your answer. Minimal stuttering, just being confident in your response. You know, it just depends on whatever that is. So your attitude, whatever work that you get into, your attitude can affect your money. And I feel like it will affect your money. It will, you will make less and less. The last thing I'll say here, then I'll pass the mic right back to you and see how you respond to this. Some catering drivers leave the customers with such a bad experience, they don't want that driver anymore. And in my mind, all you're doing is picking up an order and going to drop it off. Like, what did you do to just have a customer not ever want you again? Customer service is way down, and you got to do a better job, change your mindset, and come back out here with a different attitude to be able to get these customers to want you. Because in order for them to want, for you to make more money, they got to place more orders. And if they want you to deliver the food, they will definitely pay more because it's you.
Right. Yeah. No, that's right. As if anything, the way I see it, just to piggyback off of that, your attitude as far as like the service that you provide, that can also open up the door for more opportunity, because maybe you connect with somebody and they like the way that you work and they're like, hey, yo, let me pull you to the side. Let me tell you about this opportunity I get. I think you might be a good fit for this. Yeah. So you never know who's watching. You never know. So yeah, you gotta get that in check, man. Get it in check. Attitude is everything.
So Toya, it's obvious that both of us are on the same page, and it's obvious that there are some people that love to be spoon-fed, but in the end, your attitude is everything. And if you go out here with the wrong attitude, doesn't matter if you're trying to get a W-2, doesn't matter if you're working independently, trying to get new clients, new customers, doesn't matter if you're using these platforms or these gig apps to make the money. Doesn't matter how you're getting it. If you have the wrong attitude, which is more of the negative attitude, your money will be affected. If you are looking at a $2 and you're saying, ain't no way I'm going to take this. And I use this against people all the time, Toya. I said, how can McDonald's at one point see value in $1, but you can't see value in $2? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand $2. Yeah. But McDonald's is the largest restaurant chain in the world. But they saw value, so much value in $1, they created the dollar menu. I could only imagine how much money they made off the dollar menu. So if they can see value in $1, why can't you see value in $2 or $3? I'm not telling anyone to take whatever, but I'm just saying. The last thing I'll say here, Toya, is I just asked a question on my community post asking, hey, if how did I say it? I forgot how I said it exactly, but the point was, if you can make a gig app perfect, what features would it need to have? Someone responded with higher base pay. What's higher base pay though? What is that number? Right? $2 is the current. If it go up to $3, that's now technically higher, So what would that
Right.
number need to be? They never responded.
Hmm.
So I just feel like, the attitude of a driver or the attitude of a restaurant customer, doesn't matter. Whoever is listening to this, whoever's watching this, the attitude of whoever they are will affect their money eventually. And when the money gets low, they will start blaming people or looking around, trying to find someone to blame or a company to blame, or saying it's their fault. It's never mine. They need to look into the mirror and try to find what they are doing wrong instead of what everyone else and every other company is doing wrong for their pockets. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, no, it's because I get like, we go through different struggles and obstacles, like I talked about the bots and everything, oversaturation or whatever, I get it. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. The pay getting cut, all of that, right? But at some point you have to decide, like, okay, what moves am I gonna make to turn my situation around? Because like you said, just sitting there whining about it, blaming everybody else, you're just wasting your breath. So, you have to go ahead and figure out a game plan. It could be is for a gig worker specifically, it could be as specific or it can be as easy as or as simple as expanding into, a different part of your market. Like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Getting onto different apps. Even just changing the time of when you go out to do your deliveries. If you go out in the afternoon, try going out a little bit later or a little bit earlier. Something like that. A lot of this stuff, it's not like a big drastic change that you have to do in order to go ahead and turn your life around. And if anything, this is something I'll just briefly touch on this. Myself, I would say in the past, I had some trouble trying to, looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, because, you see all these obstacles in front of you and you get frustrated and you're like, okay, I feel like I'm doing everything that I could possibly do and nothing seems to be working. Eventually you have to take control, change your mindset. If anything, look at how far you've come, because that's something I had to do. I had to learn that for myself. I look back 5 years ago, I'm like, okay, I didn't have this house. I wasn't married. I got all of this stuff in front of me now because I put in this work, right? Stop looking at like, oh, I got this long, treacherous path. I got to go ahead and, I get it's frustrating. It's hard. A lot of us are struggling financially, especially with, the economy is crap right now, to be quite honest. And I get it. But like I said, you gotta change your mindset, because once you start seeing things more positively, that's when you're gonna start seeing those doors open. You're gonna start seeing more opportunities. And like I said, just even with, other people noticing your attitude as far as the service that you're providing, all of that, they can see that. And like I said, it's just, it's going to work out. That's all I can say. If you have that positive attitude, you're going to see it. Whatever, if you put out positive energy, you're going to get positivity back in your life. It may not happen overnight, as much as we want to have stuff happen just like that. You're going to see the progress. You're going to see the progress. Just stick with it, stay positive, and you'll be all right.
Now, I'll tell you this now. You put positivity out there, you will get positivity back, but it's going to come with some negativity.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But you got to stay the course, though.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stay the course, because you, when you get to a point of being sick of this, whatever that is causing you to feel like, man, I'm so sick of this. Like, it gets on your nerves, like, oh my gosh, I can't anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then and only then you just might make a change.
Right.
Like, man, I'm sick of these $2. I'm sick of this. Hey, any other apps out here? Let me see what else I gotta go find. But you gotta get to that point of just being sick of this, right? Man, I got family to feed, and all they giving me is $3 orders, and I'm making $150 a week, full time. What? Oh, I'm sick of this. See what I mean? Like, man, it's hard out here. The last time I had one catering app, and then that one catering app, they changed things up on me, and my money got affected. Now I got 3, because I got sick of this. I got sick of them and changing stuff. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Right. It's like when you get to that point, you just sick of this. You sick of this, man. You gonna get what you need to get because you just sick of this. You just sick of the crap. You sick of, man, you got to get it. And I feel that's when people are really going to get off of YouTube. I'm not talking about content creators, right? When they get off of YouTube with their complaining, that's the only time they're really going to be able to make a change in their own personal life. So, Toya, I appreciate you having this conversation with me. I don't think I could have had it. No problem. I don't think I could have had this conversation with anyone else because I feel you are a realist. Based on the conversations that the videos I've watched and your way of delivering the message, I'm like, oh, okay. All right. That's Toya. So I appreciate you having this conversation with me. And hopefully that I could get you back on another episode so we could discuss maybe just elaborating a little bit further on maybe this topic or maybe something else, but just your, I don't know if this is a word or not, but realism, right?
I got you.
I appreciate it. I definitely do. Cause that's where I come from, right? I feel I don't like the sugarcoat stuff. I still try to be politically correct, but I hate being politically correct, right? I just like to speak my mind and say how I feel on specific topics, and I don't try to be rude. And I feel that, it's only certain people I can have a conversation with while me being as real as I can be. And you're one of them. So I appreciate you. And any last words for the audience?
Go out there, get y'all money, y'all. Get your money. Stay positive. Stay positive. It's enough out there for everybody. So put in that work. Y'all be all right. Y'all be all right.
All right. So I will get with you in a minute, Toya. So, fam, that was Toya Drives. Your attitude is everything. If you going out there with the wrong attitude, don't expect to come home with a heavy pocket. Your pocket is going to be light as hell. You might as well just pull the insides out because it ain't going to show nothing. You ain't going to be able to hold nothing. You got to have the right attitude. Going for the W-2 that you want, going out there to start your business, going out there to work a gig app, doesn't matter. You got to have the right attitude for your money to come back at you, okay? So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you squeeze the life out the like button if you are watching this on YouTube, or you just leave a 5-star review if you're listening to this on Spotify or any of the podcast platforms that you're listening on, all right? And I'll see you in the next episode because I got plenty more to go, all right? See y'all then. Deuces. Oh, yeah. What time it is, D-Fam? It's time to, go get your money.